I decided to give you guys an update on all of my tanks, and I wanted to start with this tank first. This is one of the two frag tanks that I have connected to my display tank, which is right in the middle of these two. This one here is the one that hooked up first, and it's been, I would say, like 1.5 or 2 years right now. Actually, the other frag tank that I have that I set up just a couple of months back, my Acroporas are still not doing so well since that tank is new, even though it's all one system. But this one's just doing so good, so I wanted to just show you guys off what I have going on over here. All right, so let me just start, I guess, with equipment first. If this is your first time here, you obviously don't know what I have going on. This is a Radeon XR15 Blue Gen 5, I believe. And I do have right next to them Rebrights as well, which I do run around 6 hours, I believe. And then on the back, that's what I have going on for flow. That's just ice cape dryer. And then on the back here, I do have MP10. As far as filtration goes, I'm gonna go over that when I give you guys an update on my display tank. So let me go over fish real quick. I do have 6 line wrasse. I do have a scooter blenny. I do have a couple of shrimp as well, mini tank, and I do have a fox face as well. This tank is just 12 inches deep, and I notice in these tanks that I have, and this one and the other one that I have, fish can get a little bit finicky, and they're more scared of me for some reason, and that's something that I haven't noticed in my other tanks, which I believe my Anemone tank is around 18 inches deep, and my main display is around 20. And this one here, just 12. I guess they just don't feel as safe as they would as if they were in the just deeper tank. I do have 2 Frag Racks here. I don't really like the look of them, but they've been very helpful when getting new frags, so I'm kind of just acclimating them there. Or when I make new frags for my colonies, I'm just gonna lay them there, and just easier for me to have something that I can, of course, just keep my frags. Corals, they're underneath them, don't really bother, it doesn't really matter. They're all been doing very good. They are shaded on the bottom. Obviously, as you guys can tell, the Montes, they are even growing all the way on the wall. Yeah, just going bonkers. I'm gonna probably have to cut all of those. I just don't even know what to do with them. I do have lots of Montes on the kind of edges of this frag tank. And then towards the middle, obviously have more of light hungry corals, more of the Acroporas, which I have just in this tank and in my other frag tank as well. Since I do not have none of the acros on the display tank, since that tank doesn't have as much as flow or as much as lighting as this tank has. Of course, if I would like to have a bigger frag tank, for sure, this tank is a little bit small for what I need it for. But since I kind of had space here and on the other side of my display tank, I decided to just grab these two and just have my acros here for grow-ups, just so I can grow them, sell them. What I have going on here as well, I'm not sure if you guys noticed, but I do have lots of these tiles. They're square tiles, which I got from Home Depot, and they're actually in the package. They come 6x3, and what I've done, I'll just cut them in half, and then I'll use them. I believe the Home Depot is also selling 4x4. Those are a little bit too big for me, so what I do, I just grab those 6x3, I cut them in half, and then I use them. I just have little frag plugs on the bottom, and they're kind of holding the frag discs where the colonies are at, or sometimes I just have them on a frag plug glued directly, and in that way, when the acro wants to encrust, I basically don't let it go too much. And sometimes if you have Acroporas for a while, what they'll do, if you give them lots of surface that they can encrust, that's all they'll do. Sometimes they'll happen, of course. Some of the frags will grow just nicely for you right off the bat, but some won't do that, and that's why I kind of just restrict them not to go too far. And basically what I want from them, I want them so they can start growing naturally to come up. You can frag them so you can have frags off of them. Let's go show off the corals. What I have here on the side, just some frags that are fragged. This is my beach bum here, goldenrod. I have some frags here that are just growing out as well. I do have a big frag here, which I fragged off with my Golf Bonsai colony. And then I do have my digi here. This is probably one of the less desirable digis I have. It's basically just brown, but it grows super fast, and that's why I have it just here as kind of a frag on a side. And then on this side, what I have, again, just some frags, some faves that I got that I'm growing out. I'm probably gonna put those in my display tank. This is my Alcor Monte, my big colony. and a frag over there. And I do have some of the frags here of Acroporas. I recently got this one from a local hobbyist and it looks amazing. I barely wait to see how this one looks when it gets a little bit bigger. It's showing lots of potential, has lots of purple, bright green, and some other colors in it as well. I barely wait for that frag to get bigger. Since I'm showing you this big colony, every single coral that you see in this tank, I started off with small frags, except this colony over here, which is a banana hammock colony that I got from Kenny from Pieces of the Ocean. I traded him for one of my Colorados, and I had this colony for quite some time now, and just recently it started doing better for me, started coloring up. And that's one of the things, if you want to buy bigger colonies, plenty of times bigger colonies are kind of more finicky and they'll take their time so they can color up, while frags do so much better. They're so much more robust, and even though you save, of course, more money for a colony, you still will be waiting some period of time so they can kind of adjust your system and so they can start coloring up for sure. Now, basically this colony looked almost just like teal dull, like emerald green for the last almost a year, and just now it started showing the brighter tips and all that purples and greens, and looks awesome right now. What I have going on here, I do have ORA Proliberry. It's a very nice size frag. I barely wait for this frag to get bigger. It's amazing. This is one of the stags I got from a local reefer. I believe it's called Cali stag or something like that. Looks kind of like Worldwide Coal's yellow tips, but it's not that. It's grown all the way up to here, and then has one piece that's growing here as well. This is my Vivid Confetti over here. This piece I got is a very small frag. You probably can see it. It's that little turd over there. And then it decided to grow on the side and just go that way for some reason. Had no idea that this coral is just so robust. It's so fast growing. In the beginning, it was just sitting there, of course, like most of the frags do. But when it started growing for me, it started growing very nicely. And you guys cannot really see, it kind of looks small on the camera, but this small colony is actually big as my hand. Definitely one of my favorites. It looks amazing. This one here is just Oregon Tort. It's one of the bluest looking corals when I have my white lighting on. It looks amazing. At first, I thought that this coral is going to grow a little bit faster, but actually needed some time. And just recently I adjusted to this tank and this system, and it started taking off. As you guys can tell, there's lots of like small little nubs that just started shooting here on the side. This coral here, got it as a frag from Ryan, and that's Strawberry Shortcake. It just recently again started growing for me very nicely, and I've seen this start shooting little knobs in the bottom as well. This one here I got from local reefer. I actually don't know the name of this coral. If you know the name of this coral, please let me know. It looks amazing. It seems to be a fast grower. I have no corals in my system that looks similar to this one for sure. That's a Jason Fox Vino. I used to have a big colony which died on me maybe like 2 years ago, and I'm so excited to see it back as a big piece. I believe this piece I got from Cherry Corals. I believe it's Aqua Shella here in Chicago last year. And of course I have lots of Montes here, Fruity Pebbles, lots of other encrusters here as well. That's a Juggernaut Monte, Alter Ego Monte. There's lots of encrusters here on the side as well. This is Miyagi Torso that I got from a local reefer here. That piece I got is a small frag, and just now starting to grow like crazy. This is one of my biggest pieces here in the tank. I guess the tallest pieces here in the tank, and it was just a small little nub. And yeah, if you're a beginner in the hobby, definitely Tort tags are definitely a way to go if you want to see a lot of growth in the beginning. And I do have lots of here small frags. I think this is Pinky the Bear. This is one of the wild pieces that I got from a friend. That one is Paletta's Pink Tip, one of my favorite corals. Just started growing. It looks amazing. I believe that this one came from Battlequals. I don't know the name exactly. I'm trying to look it up, since this one looks very nice. It seems to be one of the smooth skins, and it just has like purple color with like neon green tips, so it looks very nice. This one here, I don't know what is it. Again, at the beginning of this video I started talking about just some of the acros that just like to encrust and just don't want to shoot up and don't want to grow, so we can see that growth. All they do is just encrust. This is one of those pieces. And just recently it started shooting. You guys can see little nubs on the top, which I barely wait to see how that one's gonna look like, since so far all I've seen is just green colors, and usually when corals start kind of growing, then the other colors start popping out and you can kind of see how the coral is gonna look like. Of course, I do have lots of other pieces here. You guys cannot really see it just because of the lighting. And then on the back, I do have some more Montes. Then I'm trying to grow again some easy corals and let's say more low light corals that I have on the edges. They're again mostly Montes, easy stuff. One of my favorite is Milka Stylo there in the back. Orange Setosa, which is awesome. That's, I believe, Lantana Monte. Not plenty of people have that Monte. Looks amazing. I got it basically as a frag that kind of look like Digi. And for right now, mine's not shooting at all. All it does, it just kind of spreads on the side. But we'll see how that frag is gonna look like, definitely. And yeah, if you guys have any questions as far as this tank goes, drop them down below. And of course, subscribe, since my next video is gonna be, I'm not sure which tank I'm gonna do next, but I do have my display tank, I do have my other frag tank as well, and I do have my enemy tank, so all those are next. I've talked with Justin from Reef Nation. I'm probably going to do an update on his system as well. So just subscribe for all that. And of course, if you like these type of videos, feel free to give it a like. And yeah, see you guys next one. Peace.